What is going on, everyone? It's March Jig8 here, bringing you guys the news in a flash. Let's get into it. We're going to start things off with the PlayStation 2017 experience in Paris, which gave us a ton of new trailers, including one for The Last of Us, which gave us some story details, nothing too insane, but it does show off a new cast of characters. How they'll eventually tie into the story with Joel and Ellie is still left up into the air at this point, but it is apparent from an interview with Neil Druckmann about the trailer that there is some sort of connection there. Check out both the trailer and the interview below. We also got trailers for the new Spider-Man game that Insomniac is working on. Detroit Become Human got a new trailer, which is being created by Quantic Dreams. Those are the developers behind Heavy Rain. We got a new God of War trailer, a new Shadow of the Colossus trailer showing off the visual improvements done to the game, and a new Monster Hunter World trailer. Plus, we also got a trailer for Final Fantasy 15 episode Ignis, which gave us a release date for December 13th. And we also got the announcement of Destiny's 2 first expansion, Curse of Osiris, which is set to come out on December 5th with what it looks like a new planet to explore, Mercury. I swear, though, the ship better have a decent raid and bring some interesting things to the game, because I'm not going to lie to you guys, at this point, Destiny 2 has become kind of stale to me. Anyways, if you guys are interested in any of those trailers, you can find them all down below in the description. They'll all be there for you. Moving on to a more serious note, GWAR's guitarist Michael Dirks has come forward to reveal that he has been diagnosed with myelofibrosis, which is a disease that basically causes scarring in the bones and interferes with the marrow's ability to produce blood cells. He began to experience symptoms of extreme fatigue and weakness during this year's run of Warp Tour, which eventually led him to going to the hospital, where he was then treated for severe anemia, which is a condition that there is not enough red blood cells to carry oxygen to the body tissues. There is a treatment plan, though, for this disease, and with it actually comes a chance of curing it. It involves destroying the diseased bone marrow with heavy doses of chemotherapy and then replacing it with healthy marrow from a donor. If only it was that simple, though, as chemotherapy treatment has similar effects as the disease, where it actually decreases the production of blood cells that the marrow is able to produce. So that means after the procedure is done, his immune system is going to be a bit of a wreck. He says that after the procedure is over, it's going to take him about a month of being in the hospital and then a good part of the year in recovery. Luckily, and good news here, is that he does plan to have the procedure earlier next year. I think they're still looking for a donor for it, though, and he's also stated that he will continue to tour with GWAR on their upcoming North American tour. If you guys would like to learn more, I will leave the link in the description below. As I said before, they are still looking for a donor, so if me spreading the word on this helps him find that donor, then by all means check out the description below. With that being said, let's move on. Danny Worsnop of Asking Alexandria has teased that he is working on a second solo album right now, and he plans to have it released sometime in early 2018. Microsoft has announced that they are actually ending the production on their Kinect for Xbox, which is actually kind of sad because it wasn't that long ago that they adamantly stood behind this thing. That's the problem, though. How are you going to stand behind something that you have no idea what to develop for it, or that you aren't willing to experiment with it to try and find things to develop for it? And it's not just Microsoft that's guilty for this. Sony has no idea what to do with their handheld system, and it's like, how long will it be before they start moving away from PlayStation VR? I don't know. If you guys would like to learn more, links will be in the description. Finally, time for some new music and videos. Getting right into it, the U's put out a new song for You, which is off their new album, The Canyon, which is dedicated to a childhood friend who committed suicide in 2016. This is actually a live version of the song. I thought it was pretty cool. I decided to include it. Mike Shinoda performed a new Linkin Park song titled Looking for an Answer at the Celebrate Life in Honor of Chester Bennington show. Evanscence has released a new version of their song Lacrymosa, which originally appeared on their 2006 album The Open Door. The song has been re-recorded, adding new elements of a live orchestra and electronica for this upcoming album Synthesis. Story of the Year is back 7 years later with a new song, Bang Bang. Hit the Lights has released their new song, Believe in Me. Five Finger Death Punch has released one of their new songs off their upcoming Greatest Hits album. The song is titled Trouble. And In This Moment has released their new music video, Roots. And if you're interested in checking out any of those, the links for them will all be down below in the description. Now, before we go, I gotta talk about it. You guys know I gotta talk about it. Let's talk about some Stranger Things too. If you want to leave now, that's perfectly fine. But I loved it. I loved what they did with it. I love the direction that they went in with it. The new characters all fit in great, except maybe Billy. But even he had a layer of depth to him that I enjoyed. I enjoyed what they did with the original characters, and I was also pretty happy to see some of the speculations I made earlier about the season actually happen. I actually would have been surprised if some of it didn't make it in. The only real criticism I have about the show is episode 7. For those of you who have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And for those of you who haven't seen it and don't want to be spoiled, now would be a great time for you to get the hell out of here. Like now. Wait, before you leave, be sure to leave a like. Ah, shit, they're already gone. Alright, so anyways, episode 7. I like the concept of this Empire Strikes Back, Luke/Yoda, almost reverse relationship between Eleven and Sombra. And yes, I know her name is Callie, but she reminds me so much of Sombra, I can't help but calling her that sometimes. Where instead of Callie is showing Eleven how to focus in on her strength, she's actually showing her how to use her anger to elevate her powers. That's great, I like that. I like what they did with that. What I didn't like was the fact that they placed this more personal / character evolving episode right between the buildup of the main climax. You end episode 6 with the intensity quickly rising throughout the entire episode up until the final scene where shit's just about to hit the fan. And then it completely shifts gears to this more personal and emotional tone. The best analogy I can give for this is imagine driving down the highway going 75 miles per hour and then you come up to a car that's adamantly going 50 miles per hour and it forces you to slow down. Another analogy I can make is you're right about to have an orgasm and then your kid knocks on the door. Now, I wouldn't say that it went to that extreme, but you get what I'm saying when I say that's kind of how I felt with this episode, or at least the placement of it. It just felt like a total adrenaline killer. I felt that episode 7 actually should have been episode 6, and then episode 6 would then become episode 7. That way the intensity is continuing to rise, even with the subplot going on. There are scenes where we see Eleven seeing her friends in trouble, but at this point we already know the context of why they're in trouble, so the mystery and suspense really isn't there anymore. But if that was the first time we were seeing those particular scenes, we would have no idea what's going on. That way, we know that Eleven is coming back to save her friends, but we also have an entire episode to fill us in on why things are going downhill at that point, why her friends are in trouble. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts on it. I have more speculations on what Season 3 is going to bring, and I might eventually add those into a video. But at this point, I just wanted to see if you guys have seen the show and what you guys' thoughts on it were. Leave a comment down below letting me know. And thank you all for joining me for this episode. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't, subscribe if you want more, and I will see you all on the next one. Mars out.